So thank you everybody for choosing this session and being with us today. My name is Martina Grigorova. I am a CEO of Microfinance Institution Credit, and I will moderate this very interesting session today. I have the pleasure to be in the company of two ladies with great expertise. We have Alexandra Dmitruk, who is Deputy Director of Ministry of Funds and Regional Policy, European Social Fund Department, Poland, and Teodora Todorova, who is Head of the Social Economy and Social Responsibility Department in the Living Standard, Demographic Policy, and Social Investment Directorate in the Ministry of Labor and Social Policy, Bulgaria. So thank you, ladies, for joining us. We will start with a presentation of current initiatives in both countries. Ioana, yes, you are so fast. Thank you for this. And we will have time for a discussion after that. So please free to post all your questions during the presentations in the chat box. And I will address them to our speakers during the discussion. Also, you could request to talk directly if you would like to see this option. I didn't have seen anybody to use it, but if you want, there is a button that you could ask sharing your video and speaking. So if you would like to test this, you're very welcome. So let's start. Alexandra, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Martina. Hello, everybody. I'm very happy to be here. And I would like to share with you our experience as regards supporting social entrepreneurship in Poland. But I will describe those instruments which are available from the European Social Fund, as our ministry is dealing with the European Social Fund management in Poland, and I will give you details on this. Please, next slide. Yes, there are four main characteristics that actually describe the financial support to social entrepreneurship in Poland. Firstly, ESF is basically the main public source of financing of different schemes. There is scarce and scattered offer from national sources to support social entrepreneurship. Secondly, Poland Polish social economy relies on grants. Only 1% to 2% maybe of social economy entities take loans in banking sector, according to our studies. Trust to repayable financing among social economy entities has actually been built over the years, partially thanks to ESF. Those social economy entities which took loan are willing to come back for another one. And finally, we work in all those instruments with BGK, Bank Gospodarstwa Krajowego, which is the National Development Bank, who works as a fund of funds. However, there is a need to enlarge the number of financial intermediaries which are willing to finance social entrepreneurship. Next slide, please. And yes, for the very long time, there was no legislation as regards social economy sector. Therefore, we had to rely on definitions which we introduced as obligatory in European Social Fund guidelines and for beneficiaries and for institutions. In 2014, the National Programme for Social Economy Development was adopted by the Ministry of Social Affairs and gave us strategic reference for ESF interventions. And finally, in August this year, the new Act on Social Economy came into force and gave us a legal framework for the sector, starting from the definition of social enterprise, social economy entity, people at the risk of social exclusion, description of the support system for the role of centers for social economy support, and also types of financial instruments available from different public sources. Next slide, please. Yes, and here I will just give you a quick overview of the financial instruments that we deployed with the European Social Fund. The first one was introduced in 2012 as a pilot of the value of 6.5 million euro from the ESF 2007-13 financial perspective, with BGK as a fund of fund, as this red box, and TISE as a financial intermediary in all 5 macro regions into which Poland was divided. On the map, you can see those 5 macro regions. All of them were somehow taken by TISE. And TISE gave 500 loans and advisory services to 406 different social enterprises, which led to creation of more than 500 new jobs, and it was really successful and helped us shape the next ESF loan fund. Next slide, please. Within the financial perspective 2014-2020, we have deployed much larger fund for social economy with a value of almost 34 million euro. And it was supposed to be active for at least 8 years of the financial perspective and later on. Again, BGK was the fund of funds, but the number of financial intermediaries has started to enlarge in 3 different tenders in 2016, 19, 22. New financial intermediaries appeared with the offer to give loans to social enterprises. Out of almost 34 million euro, up till now, almost 28 million euro has been engaged in more than 1,000 loans for startups and also for development of social economy entities. And you can see in the table, mostly they go to social cooperatives, it's 33%, and non-government organizations such as foundations and associations. Still, more than 6 million euro is left for loans until the end of 2023, which is the end of the eligibility period for us. Next slide, please. Yes, with the funds paid back from those ESF loans, we have created a new national loan fund, which does not fall under the ESF management. So let's say it's kind of easier management. And as a response to lockdown connected with COVID-19, in April 2022, we have deployed the first liquidity loan fund for social entrepreneurs to help them deal with reduced profits due to COVID. Up till now, more than 260 loans for social enterprises were given. Those who maintained employment could benefit from partial write-offs up to 25% of the capital. And also, as a response to the war in Ukraine, with a high number of people fleeing from Ukraine to Poland, this year BGK came up with the idea to offer missionary loans for social economy entities, mainly to organize support connected with support for Ukraine, and also to create a workplace for Ukrainians in social economy entities in Poland. So far, 15 such loans were offered. Those 2 instruments actually attracted more financial intermediaries, and new financial intermediaries expressed willingness to work with social economy entities. Now there are 6 different financial intermediaries in Poland who work for social economy sector. Next slide, please. And yes, another example of the new ESF financial instrument for social economy is social venture capital, which was deployed in 2019. It is the only such instrument for social economy in Poland. It is called Social Investment Equity Fund, though we also finance quasi-equity investments. Its objective is to invest in social enterprises which need substantial financing for their development and achievement of social goals. The allocation is quite small, it's only 2.5 million euro. TISE is managing it. So far, 9 investments have been made, 3 to non-for-profit companies, 6 to NGOs and social cooperatives. And social outcomes are defined individually with each social enterprise depending on the scope of social investment. A bit less than half of the resources is still to be invested until the end of the next year. And the next slide, please. Finally, together with BGK, we are at the stage of preparing for deploying guarantee fund for social economy entities. Its main objective is to help social economy entities to come up with sufficient security to apply for public procurement or another business contract, but also to apply for debt financing on the financing market. The allocation for the beginning is 4.5 million euro, and we are now at the stage of selecting financial intermediaries, and hopefully the offer will be ready for the first quarter of 2023. In a nutshell, that's more or less what we do as regards the provision of returnable assistance from the European Social Fund to social economy. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexandra. I could say from my perspective that in Poland you have a very broad social economy support. Really, you have a loan fund, you have a social venture capital fund, you have a guarantee fund. This is really great. But let's leave the questions after the presentation of Theodora. And Theodora,
hello.
You follow. The floor is yours now.
Thank you. Hello to everybody. Thank you for being part of this session. It is a pleasure for me to share with you some good practices in the area of support of social economy entities. Please, the next slide. First of all, I would like to focus your attention to institutional partnership in support of social entrepreneurship. This is good one practice concerning combined efforts of public authority, Ministry of Labor and Social Policy, fund of funds, banks, microcredit institutions, NGOs, and social economy actors. And here I would like to say that Fund of Funds allocates targeted public funds from European Union programs and national co-financing using special financing schemes in Bulgaria. And the fund manages more than 600,000 euro under 4 operational programs in Bulgaria. These operational programs are human resources development, innovation and competitiveness, environment and regions in growth. And the mission of the Fund of Funds is to create more favorable business environment, including for the entities of social economy sector. The aims to achieve economies of scale, to leverage public resources by mobilizing additional private capital and ensure sustainability in fund management by applying corporate practices of proven efficiency in a prudential approach, taking into consideration inherent risks. Actually, the fund's main activity is the structuring and management of financial instruments, and they are alternative way of grant financing. I will share 2 financial instruments. Please, the next slide. The one is risk-sharing microfinance facility. Here, the public resources amount of more than 12 million euro. And the goals of the instrument is to improve access to financing for the seeding and development of startups, including support of social entrepreneurship. The final recipients under this instrument are companies and self-employed persons registered not more than 5 years ago, including enterprises whose owners are from vulnerable groups such as unemployed for more than 6 months, young people aged 29 or less, people with disabilities, social enterprises. The type of financing is investment loans or working capital loans in an amount of up to 25,000 euro, and the repayment term is up to 10 years. You see some of the requirements for this financial instrument. The current stage of the instrument, it is active on the market. The financial intermediaries under these financial instruments are Credit and some banks like First Investment Bank, and they provide loans to micro and small enterprises and to enterprising Bulgarians willing to start their own businesses, which are not suitable for receiving a bank loan. For example, this is the requirement for Credit. In support of starting companies in Bulgaria, also funding is provided with funds under operational program Human Resources Development co-financed by ESF. Credit offers loans for startup micro enterprises with the financial support of the fund manager of financial instruments in Bulgaria, and the program primarily finances existing and emerging social enterprises. The another one, intermediary micro fund, also offers to social enterprises loans up to 25,000 euro and under the similar requirements. First Investment Bank is another intermediary which offers low interest rate business loans, free of fees and commissions, and with reduced collateral requirements for startups and social enterprises, also individuals from vulnerable groups or young people up to 29 years of age who wish to start their own businesses. First, portfolio guarantee. This is another financial instrument available for social enterprises as well. Here, the public resources in amounts of more than 2.5 million euro, and expected volume of loans to final recipients is more than 15,000 million euro for the social enterprises including. The goals of the instrument is to support social entrepreneurship, to improve access to financing for seeding and development of startups and social enterprises with a high risk profile. The final recipients are companies and self-employed persons registered not more than 5 years ago, including enterprises whose owners are from vulnerable groups such as unemployed for more than 6 months, young people aged 29 or less, people with disabilities, and social enterprises. Here, the financial intermediaries are one bank, Unicredit Bank, but also the Bulgarian Development Bank. New Beginnings Loan. This is a program especially for startups and social businesses provided by the Unicredit Bank, and also the Bulgarian Development Bank's new product Microfinance is designed for the specific segment of country's economy, which usually remains out of sight of commercial banks and general measures and programs. Next slide, please. Here, I would like with this slide, I would like to focus your attention on an initiative, Growth Valley. This initiative is a partnership between different actors in the social economy sector. The project coordinator is Reach for Change. The partners are banks, Forbes, the Business Institute. This project is financed by the European Commission and is a multi-sector initiative that aims to stimulate the development of the financial market for social enterprises in Bulgaria. Some couples of days there was a big conference in which different actors from the sector took part, and they mentioned their initiatives and they discussed how to improve the situation in order to have a better financial market for social enterprises. Are the social enterprises ready to get some financial instruments? And also the discussion was about how far the investors are ready to support social enterprises in financing their activities. Next slide, please. The way this initiative helps the sector is through studies, knowledge and experience, identification of growth stage social entrepreneurs, their needs, analysis of investor requirements, accumulation of knowledge, experience, advice, and useful tools. Through new financial instrument, actually the aim of this initiative is to develop a new financial instrument which is suitable for social enterprises. How to create a social impact investment partnership between representatives of the private, public, and non-profit sector and developing a new financial instrument. This is the main question of this initiative. But also the way of supporting the sector is through the program Investment Readiness. This is a pilot capacity building program, which aims to prepare growth stage social entrepreneurs to pitch their businesses to potential investors and obtain funding. And also another way of supporting the sector, this is Entrepreneurs for Change community through exchange of experience in building contracts between social entrepreneurs, investors, public institutions, and experts. Next slide, please. Here is some statistics about how much social enterprises were funded or how the sector is developed. Sys Credit and Microfund intermediaries, they funded 63 enterprises. Mainly the emphasis is on vulnerable groups, youth up to 29 years of age, persons with disabilities, and permanently unemployed. Just recently, a new operation and operational program Human Resources Development was created, promoting the social economy at local and regional level. And the expectations are that more than approximately 2,000 disadvantaged persons will be included in this under this operation, mainly training, creating new jobs in social enterprises, using new technologies, improving the digital skills of employees, and promoting cooperation in the field of social and solidarity economy at local and regional level. And another statistics, 40 social enterprises are financed under microcredit instrument, financial instrument, in the realm of Human Resources Development Program. The goal is both to support startups of an independent business activity in the social economy spheres and also to give an impetus to the development of already existing social enterprises. Next slide, please. And this is the last slide, political framework. All this is happening under the following political framework. First of all, we have a national concept 2014, a few plans for development of the sector. Last one plan is for the 2022-2023, and mainly the plans aim to develop favorable conditions for the sector, visibility, financing, education, research. All these things are in the plans. We have also permanent interdepartmental working group to the Minister of Labor and Social Policy, which has consultancy aims. Since May 2018, we have Act on Enterprises of the Social and Solidarity Economy in force, and we developed also methodology for assessing the social added value produced by the activity of social enterprises. And this methodology actually is necessary, and when the entities want to be registered in the Register of Social Enterprises to the Ministry of Labor and Social Policy, they need to fulfill this methodology, and then we can see how big is their social added value according to the methodology. This is very short for the moment. Maybe in the discussions I can tell you more about the sector. Thank you.
Thank you, Theodora. You wanted to share very briefly about one hot topic, that is the recovery plan for Europe.
Yes.
And the initiatives that are undertaken by the ministry at the moment in support of social entrepreneurship. Maybe very briefly to outline the strategy of the ministry in this direction.
Thank you for this question. It is important to mention that at the moment we started a big project under the National Recovery Plan. The project has two components. The one component is to develop the regional policy, because we see that this is something that we miss now. Mainly the social enterprises are concentrated in the big cities, and we see that there are places in the country which are underdeveloped in this sense. And the aim of the project is to have 6 regional focus centers, resource centers in each region of the city. 6 regions in the country will have 6 resource centers, and we want to have in these resource centers people who can give consultancy and take and we will enhance the opportunity for the social enterprises to be more competitive, and some financial resource will be directed to the social enterprises for their digitalization, the digitalization of their processes of production. This is the first one. And the second component is about the digital platform. This is possibility for the entities of the social economy sector to be more visible and to can purchase more easily their products and services. This is very in short about the National Action Plan.
Yes, absolutely a broad topic, but we should be focused now. And Alexandra,
excuse me, may I just add 26 million level? That means more than about 15,000 million euro will be forwarded to social enterprises under National Recovery Plan.
Okay, thank you, Theodora, very much. To Alexandra, I would like to use your broad experience in dealing with so many instruments in your department. Could you share with us, from your perspective, which one is the most sustainable and the most effective tool in support of social entrepreneurship?
And it's difficult to say if there is one most suitable, I think, because yes, we do finance different kinds of support for social entrepreneurs, but I think they all together create a kind of comprehensive offer to social economy entities, depending on the maturity of the entity or the type of assistance needed for the development. So we actually try to broaden as much as possible the offer so that everybody finds something most suitable. We created a kind of map of financial instruments offered to social enterprises depending on their needs, and the needs are quite huge. 2 years ago, we did a comprehensive study on financial gap, and it was calculated at the level of 250 million euro, and our offer here is like below 50 million euro. So there is a huge need, but we have to combat kind of stereotypes among social economy actors because they are not that willing to take repayable assistance. But on the other hand, I should mention that in the financial instruments which we deployed so far, there are no substantial problems with paying back loans. And those social economy entities which actually take a loan come back for another one. So let's say that this is the area in which we definitely need to work with the instruments which we deploy and encourage some more social enterprises to apply for loans. There is one kind of caveat. In the next financial perspective, we are planning to introduce partial write-offs. So this may also be a kind of incentive for social enterprises to apply for loan if the social goals of the investments are met. That's more or less.
Thank you very much. And you said that the Act on Social Economy is launched in August this year. It's quite new. So do you think this act could, let's say, resolve some problems in the market, or there is something more needed to be done? What do you think?
As I said, in my presentation, the Social Economy Act gave some kind of legal framework for the sector, but actually it was based mainly on the solutions that we have already introduced in guidelines, in some kind of solutions that we introduced in structural funds management. So it doesn't change much. I mean, it definitely gives some kind of legal framework in which we will be working. So it's very good because actually we have been waiting for this act since the beginning of ESF in 2004 in Poland, so many years. Definitely the fact that the status of social enterprise will be legalized somehow gives us more opportunities to support the sector, but I wouldn't say it changes much as regards our willingness or our willingness to offer new financial instruments. We are actually very open to listen to the sector, and we try to come up with the offer that is needed, as long as it goes in line with ESF management in Poland.
To both of you, I have a question, because Alexandra, mentioned financial instruments. Theodora told us about the financial instruments available in Bulgaria also. And there are new initiatives that are trying to find the best financial instrument in support of social entrepreneurship. Could you both share your thoughts about how this financial instrument in support of social entrepreneurship, the best one, should look?
If I may start, I think what is maybe let's say it's very little time to probably answer this question thoroughly, but I think what is missing now in in the instruments which we offer to social enterprises, and what would be needed is advisory services together with the loan. This is something that was not possible to be offered within the finishing financial perspective, and definitely those what we have noticed that that among social entrepreneurs there is a need to build business managerial skills among social entrepreneurs. So this is crucial actually for the success of the business activity and to achieving social goals among social enterprises. So I think like the instrument that actually matches financial support with advisory services, this is something that would be an ideal example of a financial instrument for social enterprise.
Okay, I agree with you about the need of advisory services part of such an instrument. In Bulgaria, there was recently a big discussion about the definition of social enterprises, because we have this legal framework, but maybe this definition for some of the social enterprises is not enough suitable for the needs of the social enterprises. The investors sometimes say that they don't see the readiness of the social enterprises to get loans because they don't have capacity to manage the loans. And this is, according to me, an important issue that have to be taken into account when an instrument is created. Next to advisory services, also services that build their capacity to manage such loans. Most or some of the social enterprises in Bulgaria are small ones, mainly angels, and they need another help in order to manage and have capacity to manage these loans. I would say that the definition in Bulgaria is broad one. The entities, they get status. They can be angels, they can be cooperatives, they can be trade organizations. And this law gives them another possibility to enhance their opportunity to get access to funding or some other help and support. But still, some of the fund of funds, for example, uses another definition, mainly the definition from the EASY program. And we need to, in Bulgaria, I think we need to work more on the definition in a sense that to understand all the actors the same under social enterprises, although we have a legal framework. Sometimes it is a confusion by some of the actors in Bulgaria.
Thank you, Theodora. Thank you very much. It's good to see that the ministry is listening to the market, which is something that I'm taking with me from this discussion, that on the first place, the great importance of the ministries in Europe to be proactive in accessing European money, in combining them, if needed, with national programs, and provide to the market the needed instruments in support of social entrepreneurs. So this is really a very important step. The second thing is that you both mentioned partnerships. This is something that is absolutely needed in the support of vulnerable groups, and I strongly believe in this. Of course, the dialogue is the most important, and from a microfinance point of view, I could say that microfinance institutions in many countries are not recognized as a tool for combat problems that the state has in in financial inclusion of vulnerable groups. And maybe this is something that I could share with other microfinance institutions, that crucial thing here is really to use the European Code of Good Conduct. That is a good label to for recognition of MFIs that are operating in responsible principles. And this is a good way to access state bodies and to be in the group of this partnership that is needed to be built, really. Well, I really hope that the session was interesting for the audience. I don't have many questions left, and I don't think that we have time. If somebody wants to talk right now from the audience, you could join through this option to ask for permit. Otherwise, I could say thank you to Theodora and to Alexandra.
Thank you.
For your valuable input.
Thank you.
See you in the next sessions. Thank you.